If you're a Jehovah Witness and you're listening about this Channel 4 program regarding Rebekah, whose life was ruined by child abuse, have we seen many lives that are being abused and that the elders have done nothing about it, and you consider this probably as fake news. With REBEKAH Vardy, I've pronounced the name wrong, famous football player's daughter, on her programme of what she went through as a young Jehovah Witness, I find very sad.
You have children that you really become fiercely protective, but yet no one valued me enough to protect me. Sorry. You would have to do things to keep Jehovah happy, because he was always watching. He was always watching who you spoke to, how you spoke, how you dressed, how you held yourself.
As a 12-year-old being abused, REBEKAH Vardy, being abused, Jehovah Witnesses, do you realise that elders don't report it or don't take the allegations seriously, which then affects people's lives, all because the elders don't want to disprove Jehovah's name on his clean organisation. This programme, which is on Dispatches on Channel 4, will be important for you to watch, to see really what your organisation really is like, and that children need to be protected in the Jehovah Witnesses. It just rampantly goes on and on and on, affecting people's lives, even when they come out of Jehovah Witnesses, whatever circumstance, whether they grow out circumstances, whether they just live their lives normally, but it still affects their childhood, it still affects their lives. And it doesn't, in educational, it doesn't seem that people in the world and Jehovah Witnesses understand how child abuse can be serious, how it affects people's lives. And here we are with REBEKAH Vardy, whatever you call her name, without me being rude, that it does affect people's lives, and the conquest of believing that we need to have Jehovah's organisation clean is the most important thing, is a lie and a fantasy. It's a fantasy because people have to shut it out. In brainwashing, people shut it out. And how her family reacts is not normal, and why her family wouldn't report it, because the elders were saying that we don't want it to be Jehovah's unclean organisation is not true, because there's no such thing. It can never be Jehovah's clean organisation, because it's full of paedophiles that are allowed to get away with abusing people. And it's easy for Jehovah Witnesses to say, well, it's in all religions, but the Watchtower's claiming that Jehovah organisation is a clean organisation, and that these things don't happen, or Jehovah will deal with it in the new system, is a pretty bad excuse, because they're still abusing children, and children are not safe within the organisation today, and there's still millions of children and adults being abused, and have been abused, that haven't said anything because of this emotional blackmail, when people know what the law says about child abuse, that you have to report it. And when people are abused, it affects them for the rest of their lives. They can't just think, well, we're going to be in a paradise earth and everything's going to be great. They're suffering, they're dealing with it, and then you're allowing paedophiles to abuse other children within the organisation. Even with a 2-witness rule, meaning that you would need 2 witnesses to witness child abuse, would mean there'd be 2 paedophiles. 2 paedophiles would not admit to abusing children. Children are still not safe in this organisation. It's not to tell the people the doctrine what they believe, but it is stupidity of people believing that Jehovah's clean organisation is not Jehovah's clean organisation. There's no such thing. And paedophiles are rampant in the organisation, and people will say, well, you're apostate, you're an ex-witness, you've got a grudge against the organisation. But we haven't got a grudge against Jehovah Witnesses. The governing body are responsible for whatever 8 million Jehovah Witnesses, and it needs to be dealt with, and it's not being dealt with. And witnesses are probably getting sick to death of hearing it, but we need to keep going on and saying about it. When Lentz, the member of the governing body, says this is apostate lies, it's not. It's not fake news. It's serious. It's a criminal offence. That's why people are put in prison for it. But the Watchtower doesn't seem to take it seriously. The members of Jehovah Witnesses don't report it. These people who knock on doors claim to be law-abiding citizens, but they won't report child abuse in fear of maybe people not talking to them or discriminating them in the congregation, or going against the elders, what the elders have said. But it needs to be reported and dealt with, and these people that do these things need to be prosecuted. It's not a very nice thing to say, but it's true.
The abuse that I was experiencing, she cried, but didn't believe me. Told numerous members of my family, Jehovah's Witness community, and they called a meeting. It was put to me that I had I could potentially bring shame on my family, and basically manipulated into believing it wasn't the best thing to do to take it any further and take it to the police.
So I have what I like to call the cabin. I have so many hard drives.
So she goes and sees an ex-witness that's got so many files about paedophiles, about witnesses being abused, and the family do nothing about their daughter being abused, which goes on and on and on in other life situations. Countess Conti, 1,000 in the Royal Australian Commission, and it goes on and on and on, and it's sad, and it needs to stop.